Bruh. Bruh. Bruh.
Traders, welcome to episode 814 of the show. Could be doing anything on a Sunday, but you're here. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Just starting the stream with the Bitcoin futures chart, where it closed on Friday was 7,385. The spot price currently is 7,350. So if any gap is to open at this period of time, it seems like a gap would need to be filled to the upside. So, you know, most of the day today, Bitcoin had been over 7,400, but in the past few hours, Bitcoin has pulled back to its lowest point of 7,316. And now we're back again, 7,347. All right. So future markets should be opening not too far from now. You know, interested to see what gold and oil is going to look like, especially, I mean, even the S&P and Dow Jones futures, you know, based on all the tumult, the craziness that's been happening, you know, in the Middle East, where now it seems as though Iraq's parliament has voted to expel U.S. troops from Iraq. And also Iran is saying it's no longer going to comply with the nuclear enrichment limits. So more escalation with that red flag popping up on their top mosque, all these different things, man. You got to wonder how the markets are going to respond to it. Not too long from now, right? I mean, weekends are kind of boring for the markets, and that's why I guess people cling on to Bitcoin, because it's the only thing that's open on a Saturday at 6 p.m. or something, right? That's it. Altcoins to the crypto market. So, which, you know, the privacy coins, interestingly enough, pumped kind of on the news.
Is that a joint?
Bruh.
Brew. What's up, Greg Morgan? Thanks for the 1941. Brew. Much love, man. Thanks for being here, all of you. Really appreciate it. And just happy to see the market getting around to opening back up. All right, so futures chart, good spot price where things are open right now. Where, you know, here it is. All right, 7,400. Why is 7,400 so important, man? It's all because of history. History shows us why we keep breaking it and failing and falling below it. Over and over and over again for going on like 8 weeks now, like 2 months. You can't break that area. I mean, if you do 7,750, you break 7,750, 8,500. And, you know, there is a sense of optimism, at least in the short term, because of what's happening just based on price action. We understand when there is a critical support at 6,800, as you can see how the price action correlated with it. It's very real. And we sprung to the upside, then we pretty much back tested it as support before engulfing with convergence, bullish convergence, where on the, you know, first bottom, second bottom, we had bullish divergence, and that turned into a bullish engulfing candle as well. You would think now, with some accumulation that is very clear with a bullish engulfing candle with bullish convergence, that there's a neckline at 75, just depending on when we get there. It's around 75.70 or so. If you could ever break that, there might be a chance for upside potential. That could bring you all the way up to 85 to 8,800, because you just think about the measured move of the pattern from the lowest point to the highest point. All right, there we go. All right, futures are open. Yes, they are. Now, I'm not as... Yes, futures are open across the market, right? So Bitcoin futures, here we are. Just now. And, like I said, what's going on? So it opened at... How did we gap up? If the price was at 73.88, we gapped up to 74.25. Interesting, because spot price was at 73.45. What the heck? So you're probably going to fill the gap. I mean, it's not much of a gap, is it? It's like this will run down to 73.85, which is higher than spot price still. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a big deal filling that. That's going to happen. So you would just think, right? But still on this, right? The dragon, the idea of the dragon pattern, where you broke it and it's still alive. It's not a dead trade or pattern or anything like that. But now it's like we're getting another bullet. So a bullish dragon is now turning into a bullish potential inverse head and shoulders pattern. So it means accumulation, higher lows. These are good things. And I'm not saying that this is it. Bitcoin's going to 20K, but it's like you would think that with what's happened with price action, we would see at least a common retrace from this move down. We run up 62 to 70% of the way, and then we sell off again after making a lower high. Right. Oh my God, let's go to crude futures real quick, chat. My God, we pumping 64.24, highest price that crude futures have seen since April of this year. All right, you broke the critical resistance, somewhat of a gap up, and the next real target, you can say there's a little resistance, 64.71, but $66 seems like that's probably where crude wants to run to in time. It may not be today, but that's what's happening. This is what happens on the weekend with news. Crude response. Yes, I didn't mention that. Sorry, there was a lot of stuff, going on. Rich Patriotman said Iran State TV just made $80 million bounty on Trump's head, which is crazy. I mean, that's psychotic, dude. I feel like that's like active war stuff, right? What's up, Timbo Time? Good to see you, dude. Yeah, we're going to take a look at gold futures in just a moment. Hasn't really moved at all. I mean, up 0.16%. That's nothing. I mean, this is a little bit more significant. This is almost 2% up. And we opened 3 minutes ago. So there is price action here. Maybe I'll set up a little alert or something. So if it starts going wild while we're looking at other assets, we'll hear the beep. So we can come back to it and take a gander. All right. So that's your crude, light crude oil futures. Here's your gold futures. Look at this chart, chat. I know the uptrend extends, but from that more major correction in January 2018, look at this. I mean, it's beautiful. All right, just anchor point 1 and 2 and 3 on the bottom, or on the top. Sorry, 4 on the top actually. Up thrusted, then back inside the channel, and then back tested it as resistance, confirming still a valid channel. I'm thinking that's the way it would be, right? When you have up thrusts and false breakouts, you come, and then when you would back test them inside instead of outside, right? So went down to the heart line, bounced off it a couple times, ran up, and here we are, right? There's a sell wall at 655.90. I mean, that's the highest high ever. That's all-time highs on this XAU gold futures chart. Obviously, we know that's not all-time high. I mean, but again, for this chart, it is. You would think if it sells off anymore, hey, make a slightly higher low than these, we could be developing a beautiful potential ascending triangle bullish continuation pattern where there is forms of accumulation with a sell wall, bullish continuation, right? You break that, could be a very nice run up again, and we know that, right? We know on golds, you break that 1560, 1550, 1525 area for real, there's no real overhead resistance until like 1790 an ounce. So yeah, you would think that gold would spike with crude, with all this tumult going on in the Middle East. Bitcoin, we don't know, man, right? I mean, Bitcoin's not really a hedge against market tumult in the Middle East. It's very speculative and very new and clearly not moving at all. On news, right? It's not doing much of anything. So Bitcoin's now 7,330. Whatever, man. Okay. Let's look at the S&P 500 futures that have gapped down, respectively. Look, we bearishly engulfed or got close to it on Friday, and here we are, gapping down 32.18. Seems like a gap that will be filled, which is at 32.36 or so. Made an adjustment on my channel. Hey, if you got more data, why not? Look, I chose anchor point 1 and 2 on the bottom, and then 3 on the top. As you can see, still confined within it if you anchor that way. I like it a lot. 1618 is up at 33.35. Again, futures down, gapped down. Not really that surprising with what's happening. Okay. Now let's look at the Dow Jones Industrial Futures real quick. Much until we break above 95 to 10,000. Like that's a major overhead resistance, must be broken and held above, and then you must run again if you want a true trend reversal. But no trend reversal yet. This is bearish trend. If you don't know, if you didn't see the stream yesterday, sorry, but we did identify a stat, and I tweeted about it today, where the run where we found the bottom, where the bottom was 3150, December 15th, 2018, that run that went from then to June 26th, 2019, that lasted 193 days. So now, from the 26th of June when the correction began to today, 194 days. So as of yesterday, when I was streaming, it was done, right? When that new candle was born, we found it. Wow, exceeding the amount of time of the run. So someone tweeted that, hey, corrections can last 3 times as long as the impulse before them. Okay, whatever. It's not like I was arguing. I was just making a point. It's like, who else has identified that? I'm just saying what is real. Like, that's just real life. I mean, we knew that we were getting close, right, this whole past month, and now it's actually eclipsed the amount of time. All right, so the idea, you would think, is maybe potential inverse head and shoulders, right? With the left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Didn't regard the wick. I mean, you see the wick here, candle closes where traders settle up, and another wick. Okay, that's stronger than one wick down here. Okay, so that's the critical horizontal line support. That's just maybe using critical thinking there, that would be it, not down here. So that's kind of where the reversal happened, but again, you have to break the neckline. That's it. What's up, Matt? So, we can go. We're gonna go through. Oh yeah. Let's look at Monero. Dash is also doing very well, up 11% today. But again, I was saying the privacy coins started moving up pretty well when all this news broke with Iran and Iraq. All right, so here it is. This is your daily charts on Monero, where you can see what has the most touch points, man. Using this up here, you can't get any touch points. You get one touch point, and it's just cherry picking. But with this anchor, it's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, right? Clear breakout. And look, that's really what should tell you, how real this resistance was, when the most amount of volume Monero has seen since the Great FOMO of 2017. Very resounding. And then indecision, and now another bullish engulfing candle being painted right now.
Is that a joint?
Have a Jan 24th $95 call on DLTR bought in November. Do I have a shot?
What's up, Texas sports fan, man? Thank you, dude, for the 420. Oh, we're gonna take a look. A gander, whatever. Oh, did we look at that one before? Dollar Tree. We looked at it. It's very interesting where Dollar Tree is, man. Okay, I haven't looked at this in a while, but we will momentarily. No, we will, like, right now. Bear with me. All right, so Dollar Tree, I mean, just looking at the historical uptrend or whatever, my God, man, it's just really anchor point 1, 2, 3, and then 4, right? And then 1, 2, and 3. Well, really 3 and 4.
3.6. Not great, not terrible.
Bruh.
Comrade, here some Rables. I love your stream, keep up the great work. A black swan may on the horizon. Much love from Russia.
Please, Nicole, thank you so much, comrade, man. Thank you so much, man. Thank you, man. So, forget that. That was just like when the downtrend was going on, it was just 1 and 2 on the bottom, 3 on the top. And look what happened when you broke it. Okay, when you broke it, bye. See ya. All right, so. But just, you got to think about it historically. I mean, dude, you're going back. I mean, 2012, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. Here we are, 2019. You think, oh, it's a bear pull, bear flag. But if you take it out of context, then yeah, it is bear pull, bear flag. But if you're looking at it contextually of the trend, my God, this is a demand line if I've ever seen one, right? So you were saying, oh, by the way, before I forget ever, thank you so much for joining the Patreon just like 2 minutes before the stream started. And I would have just replayed you joining the Patreon, but for some effing reason on my Streamlabs, none of these are showing up, but they're showing up on my alert box. So like I had like the Jeremy Ragsdale Jesus chimes going off like, again, a couple minutes before the stream, and I'm like, oh my God, I'll just replay it. Can't find it. So thank you so much, Ever. If you're watching, you're amazing.
Bruh.
Saw that you joined the Patreon. Make sure to get that synced up so you can take advantage of the Patreon chat. Thank you so much. Holy crap. Hype in the chat. Hype in the chat! Forever. Oh my God. So you're saying it's calls, $95 calls. And you bought in November. Oh, what's the expiration? Oh, January 24th. You do have a chance. You absolutely have a chance. You're not wanting, war to happen. You don't want war. I think war probably not very good, but it's Dollar Tree. So this is a great way to get exposure to the consumer market, I guess, right? The American consumer market, which is pretty strong. I mean, that's why the economy is doing so well. Yes, you do have a chance to hit your strike price. I mean, it got so close, man. Did it not hit? If you bought in November, holy crap, did you bought in November sometime? So on the way down, and it's rallied. Nice spring to the upside. It's like you're back testing the spring now. Yes, you have a chance. But again, it's not like you can, I guess there are things you can probably do, but hey, you're kind of like screwed if it doesn't. But I don't think you can get out now. But yes, of course, great area. This reminds me kind of a little bit like McDonald's. You're at that demand line. There are a few others that did the same thing. And oh my God, like P&G did something like this. Procter & Gamble. I think you have to look at it in the long scale. Yeah, it was right here. This was what reminded, now you're out of it now, but this channel not in log, just beautiful P&G, where you kind of up thrusted in earnings, of course, saved the day, ran up and just tested that heart line again, then dumped, and now it's just been floating along, running up, failing. Now you're kind of, you look here. Procter & Gamble, critical overhead resistance right there. You up thrusted multiple times and failed. You just better hope for a higher low again, so you can have somewhat of an ascending triangle. Maybe this thing can continue on like Man, PNG. Do you not see this beautiful sending triangle, dude? Forget the channel. Just look here, listen. Same high, accumulation going on. You're right there. Interesting. But yeah, you have broken a very strong uptrend. That is real. Anyway. My God, Head and Shoulders, dude. You're right.
Bruh.
Rich Aesthetics. Thanks so much for the sub. Welcome. If you enjoyed the live stream, like button that bell up sub, I guess, if you want to. Doesn't really matter, I don't think, in the end. But back at Monero, again, up 6% on the day closing in a little over 30 minutes, and bullishly engulfing for the second time in 3 days, excuse me. If this was to actually retrace to the upside, you would think that common retrace stuff, it hasn't made a higher high yet. We know that, but if it does, and this is really the breakout or something, $73 to $91 before reversing majorly the downside again. That's it. Gower man. Remember, bullish patterns and bearish trends are less probable to play out. That's very true. And when they do play out, if they do, Jacob G, they are oftentimes There you go, man. Yeah, it's above that critical resistance, and that's also near 618. So the next resistance, $66. Yes, we looked at that earlier. So yes, you're climbing, and you probably will see $66 at some point in the near future, based on with what is happening right now. All right. If you break $66, look out. 72, 75, 77. Each one of those play a role as a maybe potential reversal area. But that's it, man. That's great. Great news. This is a very strong resistance. Where we are. I see this one's weird because this matched this over here on crude futures. This one's higher. So weird. But you broke, that's a big resistance there too that you broke. So yeah. Probably gonna see 64. Look at the volume. Nice volume. Silver looking good too. Yeah, I mean, silver follows gold most of the time. And since gold, the macro has ushered in a bull trend for precious metals, you should see it all kind of, oh, silver's like, oh, what? Yeah, dude, okay. We're good now. It's like Litecoin and Bitcoin in a way. Yeah, it's all good. I mean, like, these charts, right? I mean, like, all of them are 66 and change as the major overhead resistance, especially, I mean, that's like a lot of analysts have been talking about where it might top out at, but maybe not after all this craziness happening. I'm talking, that's what analysts said, that oil might like top out at 66 bucks before all that. Before we attacked, we droned their leader, one of their leaders, and before the embassy was attacked, all that. So things change big time. What about platinum? Platinum's broken out, dude. You want to see platinum? Well, we certainly can. Here's platinum. You're going to love this chart. I guarantee it. Climbing. Nearly $1,000 again. As you can see, what happened. Oops. This is not log scale. This is linear. It's a beautiful channel. Look at the down-sloping resistance, Momo shift, false breakout, higher lows, multiple higher lows. 3 rising valleys, maybe? Confirmation line right here. That was definitely the confirmation line of 3 rising valleys bullish pattern. You're way above it. Measure move of the pattern is going to put you somewhere up here above 1,029. So if you want to look at that, hey man, we can just do a little education, a little fun. This is a perfect example of a 3 rising valleys. 1, 2, 3, all proportional to each other, right? You can tell if you retrace, it's probably a 78% retrace, 78% retrace, 88%, right? Very close. So you and with the characteristics of the 3 rising valleys, you have 2 peaks, 1 peak, 2 peaks. The second peak is what we call the confirmation line. That is the breakout confirmation line where you know the pattern's real. You fell below it a couple of times, double bottomed, bullish divergence on the MACD. You're back above it. You even back tested it as support right here. And now you're gone. And so how do you measure? It's a very large pattern. From the bottom, the first valley, to the confirmation line from the breakout. That is how you measure. So I'm telling you, a measured move is 1,069. Oh, it feels so good! Okay? That's it, dude. That's literally it. Bulkowski pattern, look it up if you don't believe me. I don't really care. Like, it's real. Okay, so I think, though, that's just the beginning. I think on platinum, that's been just getting eviscerated since 2011, like the rest of the precious metals. It's had a real breakout with accumulation, composite operators doing his thing down here. I think in time, we'll see between $1,200 and $1,469 on platinum. That's it. Good to see Chad as dead as ever. Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, USO there too. Sugar already doing well. A lot of these consumer staples, whatever. I mean, that's let's look at sugar real quick. Sugar in a much crazier downtrend, making the adjustment the way we are. There is what's that? Huh. You can't really see it, but accumulation. There is accumulation here on sugar. Still, I think, in the downtrend for real. No matter what way you look at it, you zoom in and you see the bullish Gartley nearing, you know, the top of the pattern and up 1.26% after selling off. So, been a long time coming for this asset too, for a lot of them, man. A lot. Look, wheat, same thing. Long time coming. Log scale here. Right, higher lows, accumulation, sell wall. You break this, you might see much higher prices. Now, tons of overhead resistance. So much chop. So it could reverse it. 608, 669, 733. Break 733 though, $9 real fast. Thomas Knudsen, and I've never once claimed to be a pro at this. This is a hobby I've had for getting closer to a decade now, and it's just something I love. It's like, hey, you like playing video games, you like rebuilding cars, you like rebuilding computers or building computers, you like graphic design. Well, I liked this stuff. This is what just fascinated me as soon as I got into it, and it engulfed my life bullishly. So, bearish engulfing on other aspects of my life, I guess, right? So, yeah, that's it, man. Just, I guess they try to tell you that you can't do this by yourself. You can't learn this stuff, but you can. And that's why I'm here. If I can do it, you can do it, for sure. Oh, yeah, PayPal. Yep, we link PayPal, man. That's right. Sorry, man. You know how it is. So yeah, the stuff on, like, I was maybe going to war with Iran. I don't think it's gonna happen, but dude, who knows? What's crazy? It's weird. I think the Iranian, you know, their leader or whatever, even like said something that he's not, you know, even talking about the U.S. citizens. He's only talking about the government officials. It's like, yeah, we normally get that. So it's weird, though. Normally, leaders don't really do that. They're trying to create some more, I don't know, controversy over here with the election, blah, blah, blah. So PayPal, yeah, it broke out of the ascending triangle, in my opinion. I think there's a breakout. And look, you broke back in, then the great day, 2 trading days ago, and then, of course, Friday, everything pulled back kind of like that. There were a few that didn't, but, you know, you're still above the, I think, critical resistance that you need to stay above, 108.27. Eventually, we can break 111.65, 112. We gone, man. We gonna fill these gaps. There's a gap at 115.43, and the another major gap is 121.45. I'll even put that right there. Okay, so gap fills, those are my targets on PayPal, and then maybe even higher if the macro holds up. Okay, big if, I guess, at this point. Things were just going so well. So January 17th is your expiration. What was the strike price? Oh, 95? So you had a call. I don't know when you got the call. In December sometime, maybe. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Texas sports fan. Because 95 call, that means you think it's going to go lower? You think we'll see 95 maybe to fill a gap or something? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, exactly, Sniper Fox. Psychological war to make the Americans not trust government. Yeah. Well, hey man, let's throw it on the table here and be very real that it is extremely warranted for Iranian people to not trust the U.S. government. Because if you know how everything is, if you know the history, you'd never think that what the U.S. is doing is right. I mean, I'm sorry, dude, because you have to go all the way back to like the early 50s. World War II. After World War II, they carved up, the Allies carved up a lot of, Africa and the Middle East. And so, for thousands of years, that part of the world had been tribal, and it has to do a lot with religion. Right? And unreformed religion. So just different sects of denominations of their religion. Islam, they were just fighting and they were just in tribes, and since they were always fighting and killing each other, they were never able to develop real infrastructure. And so, after World War II, the Brits came in to Iran and they set up these oil refineries there, and they were exporting their oil, and money was going back to England. And so eventually Iran got fed up with it. They were triggered, dude. Wouldn't you be triggered if on your sovereign land another country was just pumping oil, right? And so they nationalized the Iranian oil rigs. And so that's when England's like, hey, U.S., you see what just happened, man? They just appropriated all our rigs, our companies. What are you going to do about that? The U.S. says, okay, we're going to leave it up to the CIA. And the CIA at the time, Franklin Roosevelt's cousin or something, his name's literally Kermit Roosevelt, came up with a plan to create a coup inside the Iranian government. 2 of them. First time failed, so their guard was off. Second time succeeded, and so the U.S. government put in the Shah of Iran, and that's Iran before that though had, they were pretty secular. They weren't crazy with the burqas and all that stuff. They weren't fundamentalists. That was an elected official that they took out to put theirs in, and then eventually time went by and Iranian people and the government got fed up, and they said, we're going to overthrow the Shah, the person that Americans planted there. And so guess who took over? Crazy theocrats, religious zealots, right? Crazy religious fundamentalists. And that is who is in charge today. And so if we wouldn't have done anything, things probably wouldn't have been as bad. But of course we did. And now, all this stuff going on now. So you could see why Iran wouldn't trust America at all, because we literally screwed everything up for them there. For real. Just trying to get the oil rigs back for the English, the Brits. So that's a little history lesson on all that. If you didn't know about it, whatever, man. So it's hey man, we've spent $5 trillion since 2001 in the Middle East. $5 trillion of taxpayer money. And we have literally nothing but a generation of shattered former military personnel, vets, right? Veterans. And we've destabilized an entire region multiple times. It's not just in Afghanistan and Iraq, Benghazi, overthrew that government. Dude, all that. Syria, Assad, what we were doing a few years ago before President Trump was in power? Fernando, Romano, man, hop in the chat.
Bruh.
Is that a join?
Dude, Fernando, man, thanks so much for joining the Patreon. Welcome, dude. Can't wait to see you in the Discord. Much love. So, yeah, dude, you just got to think about what has gone. So the migrant, all these destabilized countries over a 20-year period has just, what are we doing? The war on terror. The war on terror that is now statistical evidence that we have more terror attacks now than we've ever had in the history of keeping up with terrorism. right? Spent $5 trillion and literally inversed what we were going to try to do when we went in there. So it's like, why the F are we there? There's just no point. All right. Just trying to finish this coffee, man. All right. And we're just looking at PayPal. Market's closed, but Bitcoin's just floating around 7,339. We're killing time, man. The weekly candle close on Bitcoin is in about 10 minutes. Let's go, man. Yeah, PayPal. I'm long on it. I think it and Amazon can have good years if the macro holds up. That's it. Amazon again. 2020 play, dude. I mean, we're already deep in the green since this trade started, and you know for a fact if you watch this stream, you were warned consecutively over and over and over. Okay, man, Amazon, inverse head and shoulders, part of the FANG, revolutionized the way internet retail's done. They've done that, and they've been correcting since September of 2018. And you've created a range and you're at the bottom of the range. You're making higher lows now, forms of accumulation with the neckline. Big break to the upside, December 26th on record number of new users in the month of December 2019. And you've held up pretty well, right? That's pretty freaking good for the chance that we might be going to war and the markets were open when we knew that we might be going to war. That's good. So eventually, measure move, looking for 1973. For a gap fill, it's just coincidentally right there. I just don't even, sometimes it just. Can you talk about how to get better at recognizing accumulation? Hainsey, man. Accumulation or higher lows. That's it, dude. Higher lows. I mean, gold is the best example in the world. You talk about the composite operator, how he works as one person is steering the ship, and it's his game, not your game. You better learn how to play his game, which is what I try to teach in here like every single effing day, man. Where gold was making a low, a double bottom, rally, lower high, still lower high, lower high, lower low, same low, lower high, lower low, lowest low. Huge impulse, vulnerability for the overall downtrend. Ran up where? 1, 2, hit that supply line. That is what it's called. A downsloping resistance is the supply line. As you can see how many effing times we hit it. We dumped and rallied and even back tested it again before dumping. But this time when we dumped, we blasted right through critical supports, but not for long before blasting back above it. And as you can see, when we did that, below a higher low. Hello? Composite operator, 2016 made his decision. He was going to acquire, and as central banks, dude, he ran up. Top of the range, you'd broken out of the downtrend. Very good news. That's why we were very optimistic on gold and time, because that is a big deal. Breaking a range or a downtrend you had been in since 2011. Look, it's like you sprung. This is the spring. You eventually back tested the spring. So episode, whatever this is, episode 814. We got history lessons on Iran, and we got talks of accumulation, the composite operator, how to identify it, and springs and back tests of springs and range breaks and resistance breaks. Again, man, I think a 1640, there might be a little resistance. It's right there. That's it. That's not much of a strong... I'm talking, the major overhead resistance is nearly 1800. And tweeted about it last week, man. All right, we've broken out very cleanly. Very clean. Overbought, of course. RSI is getting closer and closer to matching that late June peak, where we saw 87, currently at nearly 86. Crazy. Thanks for the 422 people.
Is that a joint?
Tuned in. Really appreciate it. So again, this is like one to not miss, the Sunday stream, where we have 5 minutes until Bitcoin's weekly candle closes. weekly, just indecision candle, right? Back test still very real, right? This wick right here, back testing the 68.50 area, and a lot of rejection again, and just closed almost like a doji. So again, you might get a retest. I mean, look, you know, it's like slightly lower low, you run up, you make another lower high, then dump again. But I don't know. We know just what's going to happen, right? We know where we're going to run to if any scenario plays out, right? Where it's like, okay, if you can't hold here, which we did close the day, confirmed, closed the day below 7,400. If you can't hold 7,400, you'll come back down to 68.50 again, more slowly and methodically. The next, if that happens, if Bitcoin goes more methodically and slowly down to 6,800, I think we're screwed. I think Bitcoin's screwed. There it is. Boom. Caffeine man, dude, happy freaking birthday to you. Yeah, West Texas oil. Yeah, it's at up 1.28% right now. Yes, breaking resistance from September of this year, kind of range bound, but the top of the range you would think is $66.50 or so. Does seem very possible oil will eventually hit that. If it breaks that, you probably won't stop until you get from $66 to $72. That will probably happen. Whoa. Holy crap. All right, man. It's like the main question is, can Bitcoin, after showing forms of accumulation, and now we're just kind of hugging 7,400 and not selling off, right? I mean, the ease of movement for sellers isn't there yet. So, again, if we can just keep hugging this area, maybe get up to the neckline, 75. If we break 75.50 or so for real, I think there's a good chance we could get a nice common retrace. We could, I mean, the top could bring us around 8,800. All right, man. Well, I don't know what else is needed here for me. So, I mean, from me, you know, I gave the update. We stuck around for, you know, the weekly candle close, and there won't be hype in the chat at all, ever again, until Bitcoin does that move up with the higher low. So until there's follow-through price action on Bitcoin, welcome to inverse hype streams. I can't help that. I can't make stream hyped. Okay. So, I mean, dude, we're looking at golds, and a lot of us are participating in the run on golds, which is great, but it's just not what's sexy for a streamer. Like a gold technical analysis, no one cares, I guess. So, I'll just be back, man. I mean, maybe this will break tonight and I can come back tonight, but I'm just going to keep covering this stuff every day, and keep making my trades and do my thing, and you can expect me back every day, but just can't be doing like marathon streams and stuff. So I will be back. Thanks for the likes, the love, the support, the contributions. Y'all are amazing. Till next time, respect the TA.